As I stand in my cozy kitchen, the sunlight filtering through the window and casting gentle patterns on the wooden table, I take a deep breath and reflect on my journey toward embracing a simpler life. It wasn't always this way. Like many, I once believed that happiness was tied to the number of items that I owned, and I filled my home with these items that promised comfort and style and a sense of accomplishment. But over time, I began to feel overwhelmed by the clutter, the chaos, and the constant cycle of acquiring and discarding items. It started with a whisper and a gentle nudge from within. I began to question why I needed so much. Did I really need each item, and did it truly bring me joy, or was I merely accumulating for the sake of appearances? The more I pondered, the clearer it became that my happiness was not rooted in material possessions, but in the experiences, connections, and moments shared within the walls of my home. So I embarked on a journey of decluttering one room at a time, armed with boxes and a sense of purpose. I sifted through clothing, kitchen gadgets, and decorative trinkets. With each item I let go, I felt a weight lifted from my shoulders, and I discovered that the dress I hadn't worn in years was not a symbol of my style, but a reminder of my past self, one that no longer served me. I realized that happiness comes not from what we own, but from what we choose to keep close to our hearts. As I cleared the clutter, I found space, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally too. The open surfaces of my home began to reflect an open mind, and I no longer felt the need to maintain a picture-perfect household. Instead, I focused on creating a warm and inviting environment where my family could thrive. I learned to appreciate the beauty in simplicity: a single vase of fresh flowers, a well-loved cookbook, or a cozy blanket draped over the sofa. Living with less has brought me closer to what truly matters. I began to prioritize experiences over possessions. Family game nights, spontaneous picnics in the garden, and quiet evenings spent reading together became the highlights of our days. These moments are now treasured memories worth far more than any item I once thought I needed. In this journey, I've discovered the joy of mindfulness. Cooking with fewer ingredients has taught me to savor the flavors and appreciate the art of simplicity. I've learned to make do with what I have, experimenting with recipes that focus on whole, nourishing foods rather than elaborate dishes that require an arsenal of gadgets. My pantry, once overflowing with specialty items, now holds the essentials. It's a humble collection, but it allows me to create meals that are both satisfying and nourishing, connecting my family to land and to each other. I've also found joy in the art of making do. When something breaks or wears out, I no longer rush to replace it. Instead, I take a moment to assess whether it can be repaired, repurposed, or even lived without. This shift in perspective has ignited my creativity and resourcefulness. I've transformed old jars into charming storage solutions, and I've breathed new life into furniture with a simple coat of paint. Each project not only saves money, but it also brings a sense of accomplishment that store-bought items could never provide. Perhaps one of the most profound changes has been my relationship with gratitude. As I've embraced a lifestyle of simplicity, I've learned to appreciate the little things: a warm cup of coffee in the morning, the laughter of my children echoing through the house, or the quiet moments spent watching the sun dip below the horizon. All of these experiences remind me that happiness is found in presence, not in possessions. I've also come to realize that living with less allows me to focus on my values. I'm more intentional about what I bring into our home, choosing items that are meaningful and serve a purpose. I've shifted my focus from consumerism to sustainability, opting for quality over quantity. When I do choose to purchase something, I consider its impact on our lives, and the sense of responsibility has deepened my connection to the world around me, fostering a sense of stewardship that resonates with my family's values. As a homemaker, I've come to understand that my role is not to curate a perfect collection of things, but to create a nurturing space filled with love and laughter and warmth. Our home is now a sanctuary where memories are made and creativity flourishes, and where relationships are prioritized above all. Visitors can remark on the inviting atmosphere, but I know it's not the decor or the possessions that create that feeling. It's the energy of togetherness, the sense of peace that comes from living authentically. In embracing a life of less, I've discovered that true happiness lies not in what we have, but in who we are and how we choose to live. I've learned that our home is a reflection of our values, and those values are best expressed through love, kindness, and connection, rather than through an endless array of possessions. It's definitely not been an easy journey, but I remind myself of the clarity I've gained through the journey and through the mistakes that I've made in the past. I pause and I reflect on the times I've felt most fulfilled, not when I've acquired something new, but when I have shared laughter with my children, engaged in heartfelt conversation with my family, and just simply enjoyed a moment of stillness. Every now and then I'll come across an item that stirs feelings of nostalgia or desire, and that's okay. It's a normal part of being human, but I've learned to approach these moments with curiosity rather than impulse, and I ask myself, will this truly enhance my life, and will it contribute to the warmth and joy I'm trying to cultivate in my home? More often than not, the answer is no, and I find solace in the understanding that I'm creating a life rich in meaning and not in material wealth. Some tips I have that I would love to share with you all that have really helped me through the years is, first of all, decluttering my house regularly, starting small and tackling one area like a drawer or a closet, just one area at a time, and adopting that one in, one out rule for every item that I bring in, one item goes out. I also like to prioritize the quality over the quantity of items, and I like multifunction items that have multiple purposes and are good quality, durable products that I know are well made and designed to last. I like to create a capsule wardrobe, and I rotate my clothes seasonally, just so that I don't have an excess amount of items that I'm never wearing and I don't need. And I also like to focus on just timeless styles with neutral colors that I can just mix up and throw different things together. I also try to really think about mindful consumption, pausing before I purchase and doing research on items before I just decide to purchase them. And cultivating gratitude, that has been huge in my life. I like to keep a gratitude journal and share some highlights with my family and just shift my focus from what we're lacking to appreciating what we actually have. And celebrating simple joys, small moments, a beautiful sunset, a cozy family dinner, and just simplifying our meal planning. Just focusing on quick and healthy meals that require fewer ingredients, and batch cooking so I can make larger quantities of meals and freeze them, and just trying to just implement these ideas, these rituals, routines, whatever you want to call them. They're tips that I have really found has helped me, or they've helped me as a mother, they've helped me as a homemaker and an individual, and they've really changed the way that I view living well with less. I hope this video was helpful for y'all, and that you can take some of these tips and ideas and implement them in your own homes, and I hope y'all have a wonderful week ahead.